Bruce McIntosh. Here. George Ballard. Here. Joe Williams. Here. Jim McDonald. Here. Myself, all here and present. All rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Trust you've all had a chance to review the minutes of the July 14th meeting. If there's anything to discuss or changes, need a motion to approve. So, all right, thank you, George. George made the motion, Larry seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. We'll go right to the claims. Trust you've all had a chance also to look at all the claims. Unless you've got any questions on those, need a motion to pay those as well.
I've got a question.
All right, Larry.
This is, for the 12 and 14, does that come out of their own account?
Yeah, he's right.
Okay, any other?
I'm sorry, that's the orange bill. That's the orange bill. Butech's on further down. Number 8, Butech bond.
Right, but no, it says 85,000 for the invoice.
And the only amount they have in the account is 66,000. So they only get, they're out.
Oh, so you can't rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right. Exactly.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, George made a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Larry seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, McDonald, I'll turn it over to you, the 25 TIF spending plan.
You recall back last year, we developed a TIF annual spending plan for 2025. Some changes that we need to amend. What I'm suggesting tonight is amending our spending plan for 2025. One would be the Fort Branch wastewater project. We've exceeded the $1 million that we had allocated for them, so I need to move it up to $1,774,956. That's the remaining balance of that they have. And then the Gibson County Animal Shelter, you allocated $500,000 to it, so we need to add that to the spending plan. Everything else stays the same. It just changed the bottom number there, bottom 22,512. And I'm asking the commission to approve the amended spending plan so we can get it before the county council and the county commissioners. Not for their approval, just to put them on notice of the spending plan.
Make a motion to approve.
All right,
I second that.
George made a motion to approve. Bruce, did you second it?
Yes.
All right, Bruce seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. All right, next on the list, we've got old business. We've got the animal shelter and, might as well bring both of these up at the same time here. I mean, cause, we've asked, Ice Miller for a, total, I think, what it was 820,000, close to 821,000. And yeah, she's gonna try better Joey. And with what the expenditures expectation for this year is 130,000. It was what the average has been running for the last 3 years. So that leaves us around $688,000 prior to, and that actually gets the balance down to right at zero after 1 year of paying professional fees. So probably what we're gonna need to do is, now, I mean, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the event there does, I mean, obviously, we have no more income without another TIF district being
Yes, that's right.
formed.
And there'll be a delay before you'll see your next
Correct.
allocation.
Yeah, that could be used, pay, the professional fees going forward, because we won't have any new expenditures other than that, other than professional fees. And we're not gonna obviously be able to entertain any new projects
Right.
or anything out of the Toyota TIF.
Right,
So,
it ends this year, December. If the commissioners, agree to go ahead and, redevelopment agrees to create a new TIF district or the new capital project down there, that would start January 1 of 26. You wouldn't see any money until 2027,
right,
so you've
So
got a
we-
whole year there, you've got to,
so would we have to keep twice the yearly 200 and
that's what you guys need to be comfortable with.
270 and be,
Yeah,
680 minus another 135.
put you down to 550.
Yeah.
So you might as well say 5.
Yeah.
So. And then remind the commission that the commissioners told us to put on the brakes until they got a handle on the new TIF district and what's gonna go on out there and what they need. So that's why we told both the animal shelter and the team center that we get further direction from the commissioners, and that's why we went to Baker Tilly to see what kind of the
Yeah.
extra funds look like.
Yep.
So
Can I ask a
that's
question?
halfway.
You said about 500,000. Can that money, it can't be spent on a new TIF district, can it, like for utilities or any, or infrastructure stuff? It wouldn't go, if there would be a new TIF district,
It could be,
it could be, okay, I just wondered, I didn't know if it could or not.
could handle, professional fees, engineering fees, road maintenance.
I mean, I'm just curious, I didn't know how that worked.
Do you ever feel, talking about potentially having some costs for startup for a new TIF district, professional fees and that sort of?
Well, we were just talking about carryover,
Yeah,
because we're not gonna have any money coming in.
we'll make sure it
And we
closes
zeroed
out.
out the account, then we have nothing to carry us through till we get our next allocation.
What paid, when the TIF district started 25 years ago, what paid for those professional fees in the build up to actually have an
I think
allocation?
they came out of the bond proceeds. And they could do the same here, but we don't have a crystal ball, so we
Right.
wanna
Yeah.
be conservative.
And we don't wanna put it in a situation where we overspend and then the county's gotta come up with
Right.
something to carry over, and
Yes.
they don't have a budget for that either.
Right. Right, so it's gonna take some dialogue, some serious dialogue. To answer those questions.
Well, the current situation too is, I mean, we're looking at a max of 500,000, give or take a little, either way. And the ask so far from both the entities that are here is 1,078,000.
1070.
Yes, yeah,
You got 635.
yeah. Yeah, 635, 6 for the Gibson County Animal Shelter, and the Teen Center is 442,751, and that's with the solar.
Is this the question, Bill, because you're here handy, is it the teen center, which has been kind of an ongoing project? Is it open at all now? Is there any revenue coming in now? Is there everything still just expense?
Everything is still expense. There's still construction going on everywhere.
So is construction still going on, or is it kind of like come to a standstill, waiting to see what's gonna happen here? Is that what's going on, or?
No, it's come to a standstill on Center Point. We're waiting on Center Point to get the 3-phase run in so we can run our air conditioner, so that we can put the gym floor in, the floor in the foyer, the meeting room and the kitchen, and also do the final painting. They won't do the final painting until they get all the humidity out of the building.
Same way with the hardwood floor, they can't put it in there until we can control the humidity or it'll.
Yeah. So that, and you have funds to do all that, is that correct?
Gail Calvert, our architect, told me we still have funds to do that, yes.
Okay. Well, the funds that have been talking about in the last 2 or 3 meetings, those are some things that have come up beyond the air conditioning on the floor and the painting. Right,
Yes, when we had to, turn in our load sheet to Centerpoint to tell them how much electricity we were going to use in the future and natural gas, they came up with, $2,100 per month is what it's gonna cost us on average every month. And I'm very concerned that I'm not sure we can make that much income every month. And that's when I really
we're making nothing right now.
making absolutely nothing right now.
So, of course, when football season opens up here in about 2 or 3 weeks, do they still, up until now, or did you still have the 5th quarter?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So that's not gonna happen for a while.
The 5th quarter is almost finished. All they have to do down there is clean. Yeah,
I mean,
but it still needs that three-phase to come in to run their air conditioner.
Does Centerpoint give you any idea about?
Yeah, they told us the last week of July or the first week of August, and we're past that,
Yeah.
so. But you can't rush them. There's
No,
nothing
I
you can do.
understand. I've been there, done that.
But, yeah, we still hope to get that open so they can use them.
And also Holy Cross for their
Holy Cross for their basketball
NP.
games and PE
Yeah.
classes.
Well, December, I guess, probably. Then about December, when that kind of kicks in, November.
Sooner than that. It'll be November. Yeah. By the end of December, they're almost finished with their basketball program.
But they have PE in there too.
Yeah, through the week, year round.
They have to have an indoor facility for some accreditation or something as a school. So they use the community and teen center for their indoor
Gotcha.
physical education stuff.
So what would be the bare minimum number that would enable you to open the building? Not solar panels or any of that other stuff, just what would it take so that you could open the door and they could start having events or Holy Cross could use it? Do you have any idea what that number might be?
You know, I don't. I could talk to Cale about that, but, I honestly don't.
I think we need to know that.
Okay, I'll talk to our architect about that.
You're talking about the fixed cost. The utilities.
Well, I'm just talking about, I know that, I think you told us at one time that there was some kind of line that had to be upgraded on the sewer, a back flush or whatever you.
And backflush valve, yeah.
Those kind of things,
Yeah.
To get the building so that you could open it,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about any utilities.
I thought you were talking about operating. The solar and the roof, a worthy investment to keep the cost of operation down so that it's affordable for the community to use. But isn't an essential to open and could be handled in a later grant request.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is we gotta do something, I mean, we've got. $4.4 million has been spent on that facility, or going to be spent with the finishing things you were talking about. But you're not taking anything in, because you can't open the door without some of these things, especially like the sewer. I can't imagine how you're gonna operate without it. And, I mean, I would like to see it get done, but I also want it to be done at a cost that, obviously, we're kind of limited on how much we're gonna spend.
I'll talk to Cale about that and get back with you on that.
I think we need to know that now.
Okay.
Try to make something happen with it there. Not saying it will, okay?
I understand. You
Yeah.
guys are in a hard spot right here. Limited funds.
So it's kind of the same question to the animal service. I mean, do you guys got an idea? I mean, you've got enough funds now that you can build a building and you'd like the sewer, all those kind of things.
We have enough money, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, yeah, we have enough money to move animals over there. We won't have enough money to maybe put in restrooms or
Yeah,
paint the walls or have ceilings or anything like that, but we'll have space for the animals, which is really our main goal.
I'm just,
You don't have enough for restrooms for the workers?
I mean, stuff has to get cut out. We're still trying to come up with enough money to also run the utilities, cause the utilities was a big expense that came out of our initial grant, and I'm thinking now the county probably isn't gonna be in a position to help on that, so we'll have to come up with.
So, right, so they
230,000.
build a building, or the way you kinda got it set up right
Mhm.
now. We don't have any electricity for the building yet,
No,
is that correct?
that is
wrong?
correct.
That's correct. So I think we kinda need to know what that number is too.
The electrician is, dealing with CenterPoint,
Yeah,
and so that explains a lot of it right there.
got something in common here.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're hoping to be able, if nothing else, be able to have it to where the animals can be moved out of the existing building into there.
Mhm.
Good Lord willing, hopefully by the end of the year.
And that is gonna take some additional funds.
Huh?
Is that gonna take some additional funds?
Yeah, probably will. We don't know exactly all right now what the final numbers are gonna be. But
That's probably something we probably need to know.
yeah,
But,
Yeah,
the way
I think it's worthwhile to note on the discussion that, you know, the teen center was fully funded and then encountered some unexpected stuff and needs some additional things to keep it affordable and that sort of stuff, but the animal shelters request wasn't ever fully funded to begin with, you know, we funded it to the extent, or sorry, the redevelopment commission funded it to the extent that they could.
Yeah.
And have committed to do more so, but it wasn't, hey, here's our plan. Gave them all the money and then, well, we need some more. It's been, and they've been certainly active in the community at trying to raise the funds themselves. And offset the costs and make it more feasible for the county to get this accomplished.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the restroom number and the electric number is. And Mr. Knapp, it'd also be interesting to see what if you, now that everybody knows we have a limited number of funds, at the next meeting, be able to explain, you know, what you have to have to go forward, and likewise the same. I mean, because unless the commissioners would come to us and say, here's what we want it spent on, then we're gonna have to, as a group here, decide.
And we totally understand that.
Mhm.
Yes, Larry.
Sherry, I thought when you first started, that they used like 1.6 or 1.8 million. Where did the extra, did some of that be cut back out? What happened to us up to 2.5 million now?
Well, mostly it was with the quarantine,
The what now?
the quarantine area, cause shelters that are being built have separate quarantine. And if we built it without a quarantine area for the dogs and the cats, then we could build a building much simpler and cheaper. However, the quarantine is really the big factor. And there really aren't any shelters anywhere in the country being built without that, because that's just, if you wanna have a nice shelter, that's what you do. It, you know.
well, it protects the animals that are in there from anything coming in, goes in the quarantine room first.
Sure.
Until they can be certified that they have nothing that they can spread. We don't have that now, and there are times that we lose a lot of animals, especially cats and all.
It makes it harder for people to adopt.
Yeah.
I mean, because one person gets an animal that had come in and brought something in, and they maybe were tested and were clean, we take them home, they die, and it turns out it was a communicable disease, and then all of a sudden you've got a huge PR problem, so then it hurts you in trying to get more animals adopted. Plus, it's just good for strays, I think, that are out there running around, to be in a quarantine area versus running around loose, because we don't have space. And we don't want a stray to spread a disease to your animal.
Yeah. It's probably fairly safe to say too, Jim, I think we just said that 84,000 is what Baker Tilly told us that to date had been spent, so that's already paid.
Yeah.
So we have still an amount coming, and plus another, if we estimate 135 next year, we're still probably closer to $600,000, so it's a still a substantial sum of money that could do both
Mhm.
projects a lot of good.
Mhm.
So,
I think we need to talk to Paper Tilly, is it 1 year, so 2 years before we get.
can you do that?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
yeah.
You-
Get
With
some
Heather?
clarity on that,
Yeah,
make a difference of 100,000.
it will, and that'll be, that's a big difference right there, whatever. Everybody's hunting for a dollar to finish their project out, and I mean, and we obviously, as a board, wanna make sure we do this right too. We've got a sufficient amount of money invested, anyway.
And I'd like to follow up with Larry's question, because it's a very valid question. When we did this, I guess naively had hoped the county would pay some for at least connecting up the utilities. So we had not included $236,000 in our budget because we were only dealing with just the building. And we're still hopeful that we can get some help for that. But that's what, obviously, we have to have utilities, so, and we want the quarantine, and so to come up with that 236,000 gap, we're having to cut out other things in the building that were originally budgeted for us, so.
Yep.
And that's just life. So we understand that.
Yes, Larry.
But the same thing is true with Jim. But that COVID business and everything else, they basically prolonged it for 3 years and we made some really good interest off their prolonging it, as a tune. If you take 3 years times 4 million times 4.5%, that's $550,000. So, even half that would be 270. But we actually made $500,000 in interest with the money by them prolonging it.
It's the money we're talking about giving them right now.
I said, basically, if we give them the 270 now, basically split that, and give both of them 270, that sounds like. And we're all concerned about being sustainable. At Centerpoint's, bills have gone up about 30% the last 2 years. And so it's gonna come to the point where are gonna have to charge too much to rent it, for people to rent it. To make it sustainable. And the insurance on $4 million, that went up 10 or 12,000 a year, so. Are gonna be to a point where they need to make it more sustainable. And if they're looking into the solar, I think at this last meeting, it was 440, 2,000. 43,000. And right now, a non-for-profit, our government entity can put solar or any kind of energy savings on and get 40% rebate back. So in other words, you take this 400 and close to 50,000 to about 440,000. 440,000 divided by 100, say 450. Times 0.6, it would be $270,000. If they get it done while this tax incentive, it's not a tax incentive, it's, I don't know what it's called. But my daughter works with that every day.
Rebate?
To tell a rebate, if we could fund in 270,000, I'll put up the balance for a couple of months myself just to get the project done. Then they'll get the solar panels they want. And everything they left over, they can finish their project. And always the animal shelter would get pretty close to this 300,000. a shortfall. The guy spends what we have left to spend in half, what I'm trying to say. But I think it looks like would be a good alternative.
Well, I kind of think that we need to wait until next month and find out what numbers that Bill and Sharon shared with us before we start making any kind of decisions on what we're gonna do for the fall. I'd like to hear what those numbers are before we decide anything.
And that's, George, that's on actually what we actually need to open the building and get it started running.
If it's a sewer line or if it's some other things you talked about.
Backup valve, and several different things.
What is the bare minimum that we can get by with, get that building going and start using it, whatever that number, I have no idea what it is. It's your baby, I know, so you've got a better handle on that than I do, but I'd like to hear what it is.
Either that's not on there, but they're gonna need, was there some need to rent it out?
Is there some discussion about the town? That valve, or am I doing that?
No, no,
That was on the out.
that was on the apple. Yes, yes. That valve came into play once we took some contingency money and put in the fire protection system.
That's a,
Then it had to be put in.
that's a national plumbing code thing. It's a backflow prevention. Anytime you cross connect a fire protection system to a potable water supply, it has to have backflow preventer. Every schools, we get them tested annually. Yeah. So,
I think Larry's comments are good and the fact that those rebates exist may make it smarter and it may, after we get more numbers, you have that wisdom of Solomon, you just split the baby in half with what we have left, may be where it lands, but George is right, like what are the numbers of severe need so that we don't split the baby in half and have two unviable projects, that if we split it in this certain way, we can get doors open in both places. That's gonna be a sound move.
Yeah, agreed, and that's the reason for the ask. We hate to up and say we need you to come back another month again, but I think everybody understands the information we had to have, and we still have to have one bit of information to bring to the next one on our end. That will help us decide how much do we actually have available. So, any other questions?
Larry was talking about the government rebate. Do we know when the rebate for your solar panels would end? Is there a date set when that rebate would go away, or that's an ongoing rebate?
I was told in Trump's big bill that may go away, but I don't know that for sure. But I also, the way I understand the way solar, Brad Martin told me on some Martin Solar that, if we got it in this year, we could still be eligible for that.
This year.
Is there some in print kind of saying that? I mean, no offense,
No, I understand.
but it seems like things are changing awful fast right now.
I agree.
I definitely want to know that for a fact. Not saying that you're not correct, because you probably are.
I'm just repeating what I was told.
But things seem to be changing quite quickly.
Yeah, they.
You're safe until December 31st on the solar.
Okay.
I don't know what happens beyond that. Until that time, you get 30%.
Right.
So safe would mean that we have paid the bill, or that we allocated money to pay the bill?
Or just start the project.
I think it's gonna be fully installed. It may be partial, it may be a start, but I think it's fully installed.
But maybe a secondary ask for your folks is, like, what do we need to open the doors, and then on the solar,
That would be extra.
can,
That would
you
be
know, what can we get in time and install?
yes, even if you would put in the infrastructure for it and some panels, then you could always add panels as you go.
Mhm.
Correct, Larry? You're more familiar with that.
It would be good to get the project designed and get it all in at one time. As
Obviously.
far as the efficiency and getting everything plumbed together, not plumbed together, but hooked together right. It just makes sense. And without that 40% rebate. That 40% rebate really shines, and like you mentioned there a few months ago, you'd like to see like on some county buildings and whatnot. If you guys are serious about putting solar on, now's the time to get serious about it. Because it's going to go away. Trump, everything's a little wishy-washy, but it started out, 60 days after it was signed, that it had to be started within 60 days, but that changed. What way my daughter explained it, that changed, you have some time for next year. But it's gotta be started and a certain percent paid, and it's gotta be started in 2026 and completed down the line. Everything's gotta be done by 2027, so sometime in 27. But they said by June it's gotta be started, I think, and I might be wrong. By June 26th. So,
Mr. Knapp, another couple questions.
I'll have to look that up.
So when you talk to your solar people, the question is, so if we were ready, when could they start? How long will it take? We said, it's gotta be done. What if it takes 4 months? I don't know. What if it takes 2 days? I don't know. So how long does it take to do it? And if we said go today, when would you start?
Okay,
And we won't say today, but what if we said in, you know,
in the
6
future.
weeks?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Yep. My ignorance on these projects, are these done with prevailing wage?
I don't think they have to be.
If we take federal money, I bet it does.
Right.
That would be.
I mean, all of the contractors that are working on it are.
And I didn't know about changing those cost estimates, that's, I
No,
don't know either. But I can tell you from experience, when they find that out later, they come back and charge you for it.
yeah.
Any other discussion? All right, next meeting will be September the 8th, 6 o'clock, right here. I'll take a motion to adjourn. So moved. George made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Bruce seconded. All in favor?